But I think the biggest topic right now for me, anyways, is Ollie Robinson. He's been suspended indefinitely from international cricket as the England Cricket Board conduct an investigation relating to racist and sexist tweets from Robinson 2012 and 2013. Yeah. So he was a teenager at the time. It's nearly a decade now.
There's people saying ECB is just trying to save face. ECB's
100% they are.
ECB should look, what Joss Butler did a few years ago. But the thing is, ECB should actually use this opportunity to teach young cricketers, including cricketers like Ollie Robinson, to actually, educate them to tell them the why this is wrong. It's more of a why question than, what you did. Unless and until these youngsters understand why it is wrong to say these things, they're going to keep saying it.
Youngsters are definitely brought up in that culture. There's been a history of systematic racism in England cricket.
Exactly.
It's the point I'm going to bring up. There's been a culture of systematic racism in England cricket. Then you've got a teenager who is brought up in that culture, thinks it's normal.
There was some, probably a 17, 18-year-old kid who was bored out of his life, who went to Ollie Robinson's Twitter profile and dug up all these tweets from the past. Otherwise, it would have never been found out.
Yeah. What's this investigation going to find? I'll tell you what this investigation is going to find. It's going to find that there's a culture of racism that's rife in England cricket, and the ECB, the counties, England cricket in general did not do a good job of educating youngsters and stamping it out earlier, in my opinion, because you see all these stories come out of racism in cricket, and there's a culture of racism. Now, if Ollie Robinson never plays for England again, I'm going to lose it at that decision. I'll tell you why, because it goes beyond simply the fact that it happened 8-9 years ago. Okay. I'm looking at this beyond that argument. My argument is that the ECB are trying to act like the good boys here when reality says that they're not. Okay.
Yep.
First of all, nothing was done about Ollie Robinson's tweets back in 2012-13. There would have been people in his team that would have seen that stuff. There would have been people, I'm sure, and maybe his coaches, management, people would have seen that stuff. That tells me that not enough was being done back then. They haven't dealt with it properly in the past. There's a culture of racism that's been historically there in England cricket. Okay. Now, for me, the ECB are trying to clean up their act after what they'll admit years of getting it wrong on the racism front. Okay. They're trying to clean up their act. Now, if they ban Ollie Robinson forever, he doesn't play again, which will be extremely harsh because England Cricket Board are trying to clean up their act. And for all we know, Ollie Robinson may have cleaned up his own act. Who are we to deny that he's a different person now?
Yeah.
8-9 years later.
Yeah, that's completely true. And I agree with that. The thing is, there's so much, there's so much gray area in this. There's no black and white. The thing is, everyone is a product of the environment. Everyone grows up, how,
no one is born a racist. No one is born a racist. Exactly. You learn it. You learn racism. It's taught.
Exactly.
And the culture you're brought up in has a massive bearing on that.
That's where ECB should. And this goes for all boards, not only ECB, but that's where right now England Cricket Board should focus on, as I said earlier, as to educate these youngsters.
Haven't done it well enough before.
They haven't.
Look, the Players Union survey from earlier this year, right? In the UK, it claims there's widespread racism in English cricket.
Yeah.
38% of the respondents, BAME respondents, Black, Asian, minority, ethnic, they said that they've been exposed to it.
Yeah.
The results also said that there's confusion among players as to what constitutes racist behavior. So what that tells me is that they're not educated enough.
Yeah.
Or there's a culture of, this is just banter, mate,
Exactly. And again, that's the word, that's the phrase that, is so disappointing that it's just banter. It's not. It's, this era of casual racism is so rampant, not only in England, even in Australia. As a brown man in Australia, I can safely say that it is there. I have experienced it.
Yep.
I go out to play cricket every day. I work in cricket every day, and I can say that I have experienced it. But it again depends on where you put the full. Where you have to say to that person then and there. If you don't say it then and there, they'll keep doing it every day.
100%. And for me, I look. as I said before, if Ollie Robinson's not allowed back, that would be a big travesty in my eyes, because if England cricket wants to clean up their act after their past mistakes, why should anyone deny that Robinson has changed as a person as well?
Yeah.
Okay, he did a terrible thing. He admitted that. He has apologized for that. It was bad. It was bad.
Right. Yeah.
But for me, the way I see it is that his tweets and his attitude back then is a product of the culture in English cricket.
Yeah.
The ECB have made mistakes in terms of how they do racism. Do we cancel them? Do we suspend them and say, no, you're not allowed to exist anymore because you've made mistakes in the past? No, they want to right the wrongs of what they've supposedly not done as well in the past. And they want to make sure they rectify that. So racism is driven out of cricket. You start that by your culture. You start that with the culture that you encourage in the counties, these cricketers, what they're exposed to.
That's right.
For me, I believe, I'll say something maybe touch controversial. I think he's been a bit of used as a bit of a scapegoat here to cover.
He's definitely
to cover years of to cover years of a culture in England cricket that has almost turned a blind eye to racism and said, no, it's not a big deal. It's just a bit of banter.
Yeah.
We speak about Azim Rafiq last year, spoke out about racism at Yorkshire. Surprise, surprise. The investigation is still taking longer than expected.
Yeah.
He's lost faith in the investigation. So look at umpires, John Holder and Ismail Dawood. They launched a legal challenge against the ECB, suggesting that their careers as umpires had been adversely affected by institutional racism at the ECB. The ECB are not angels here. They've made a lot of mistakes in the past.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
So that's why for me, Ollie Robinson, if he's banned from cricket forever, that is a major disappointment. And that is a terrible thing, because you look at the culture, there's your problem. Fix it.